Hi, and welcome to this week's Auspicious Agile video blog. This week we're going to be taking a look at the universe of different Agile methods, all the way from business-oriented to a technology-oriented, and we're going to try to connect how some of those things fit together. So a little introduction music today as we look at the universe and get a broad view of the expanse of different methods. And what we want to do is really just give a feeling and a flavor for how these things come together. Now, a few things I want to note. You're going to see a spectrum here, and it's not an exhaustive list. I've picked some of the ones that I think are essential in different areas. Some of the positioning can probably be adjusted, and this spectrum just gives us a relative idea. Also, unifying these are lean principles, the Agile Manifesto, and a focus on customers and customer value, as well as fast feedback loops. Also, Agile methods in general give us a response to VUCA, which is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So here's our spectrum of Agile methods, all the way from the most business-oriented with transformation design, all the way to the most technical-oriented with DevOps and extreme programming practices. So with that said, let's dive in. Let's take a look at the first of the methods that we have here, the first one being transformation design on the left-hand side of the spectrum. And we'll start with the most business-oriented. Strategy, design, and leadership come together to provide outcomes for complex issues for organizations, businesses, maybe even nations. This picture by the Awaken Group is a nice summary of the overlap of where transformation design is, and it is an agile response to VUCA and to complexity. So you'll hear me saying VUCA a lot throughout: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. Lean Startup by Eric Rice is a very popular approach for startups, both large and small. I say large meaning they're in large enterprises, or small could be a small startup at Silicon Valley or Shenzhen or elsewhere in the world. It uses a very fast build, measure, and learn fast feedback cycle, and it uses that in order to find the products, and it might not be the same products we started with, and the things to develop for that business. But this is an agile approach to responding to all the changes that may inevitably come up as you're trying to start or come up with new innovation and ideas for the market. Now, design thinking, again, business-oriented, oriented towards looking for solutions and understanding your customer, and empathy, identifying the human-centered design aspects, and it's really applied to organizations. It's not a focus on technology necessarily, although you might make some nice designs like maybe Apple or something for a product using it. And you ideate, prototype, and test in this cycle. It came from Stanford D School IDEO and also a book on the topic. Now, Lean is really business process oriented. So you're going to see a lot of practitioners in a Lean area. They're using methods from Toyota production system, eliminating waste, and business process improvement, and looking at those types of things. And flow, and we will look. Six Sigma adds on to this statistical analysis used from Motorola, Six Sigma, and adding that to the equation of Lean, which was started with Toyota production system. Now, those are business process focused. Now, Agile scaling is an area, and arguably it could come after our next category of Lean IT, but Agile scaling is an area that has many methods, and it's a very hot method today. Some people call it the next wave of Agile, and it is Safe and Less and DAD and Spotify and many others. And it touches on the enterprise and the business because whether it be budgeting or other areas, there are certain things you need to do to be able to develop products at large scale. But these methods really are focused on the technology, on the product, on the value stream around a particular product or software technology product. But they certainly do touch on the business and the enterprise, although they're not going to necessarily be your guiding principle for the entire organization. Now we get to Lean IT. Lean IT really takes the focus and the process improvement that we looked at previously with Lean methods and potentially even Six Sigma. And it takes those methods and applies them within the context of IT, whether it's IT support or software development and products. It looks at process improvement. It doesn't focus so much on looking at how you're actually going to build the product and how you're going to do the engineering practices. That's not so much its domain, but it is a process improvement more focused on IT in the area of IT. Now we get to Kanban, which means visual signal or card, and it comes from, of course, Toyota production system as well, and those methods that were used. helped us with just-in-time manufacturing. Originally started with Taiichi Ohno back in the 1940s as a response to being able to compete with American car makers who were mass-producing cars. But over time, it was adapted for software and for technology. So David Anderson and others in a 2005, 2007 timeframe adapted it and started using it in software. It's becoming increasingly popular because it lets you maintain your process. So it's really oriented towards technology in the new version, although it started with manufacturing and is still used there today. Now, Scrum is something that is the most popular method for Agile project managing Agile projects, and it really aligns with the Agile Manifesto. A lot of people view it as synonymous with the word Agile, being Scrum, and will think this is the method of Agile. Now, there are many other methods as we're talking about today, but it's very popular, and it really can be viewed, again, as an alternative approach to managing software and technology projects. It's not going to tell you how to structure your entire business and organization and legal and compliance, but it's going to do a great job of telling you about your software products and how to make great products. Now, extreme programming is an agile engineering practice. So extreme programming has been around for some time, and it is very engineering and technical focused on the opposite end of the spectrum from transformation design to lean startup. And extreme programming looks at pair programming and continuous integration, test-driven development, and source code management, and those types of things that you need to be able to build high-quality code for your software engineers and others working on technical teams, and to be able to develop and to be able to have a product that's deployable. Now, DevOps takes it a step further. It takes those practices, and you can look at the other Auspicious Agile video on this topic on DevOps. It's in this same playlist here. But you also will find that not only does it look at the extreme programming type practices, pair programming, test-driven development, all these different elements, it also adds the ability to launch quickly, to deploy things to production. So it connects development and operations. It does not tell you all of how to organize your business, but it does tell you how to use your processes and to effectively align them so that you can deliver the value that's been promised and prepared by many of the other methods potentially you might have used along the way. So that is the spectrum of different methods. I'd like to revisit the picture here that we have of the different Agile methods, all the way from transformation design and lean startup on one end to Scrum and Kanban, extreme programming, DevOps on the other. You can see that we have a large spectrum of different methods that get used at different points along the way. Depending on whether you're business-oriented focus or technology-oriented focus, there is an Agile method for you. So thanks for listening, and until next time, stay Agile.